The legal battle over the border drawing more defenders to each side. Just over a week after the Biden administration announced it would sue Texas to remove the buoys near Eagle Pass, support for each camp continues to build. The state maintains the buoy chains deter migrants from crossing illegally at the point crews deploy them. The Department of Justice charges they block the flow of traffic on the Rio Grande in violation of federal law. That's in addition to the humanitarian concerns the DOJ cited in letters to Texas leaders.
The one person that is sowing chaos is Governor Abbott. That's what he continues to do, political stunts in an inhumane way. He's actively undermining our border enforcement plan, which again has the lowest level of unlawful border crossings in over 2 years. He's making this more difficult.
In a letter, Governor Greg Abbott welcomed the lawsuit and told the president, quote, "Your finger points in the wrong direction." The governor has consistently blamed the Biden administration's policies, saying Texas has a constitutional right to defend its borders. Just days ago, congressional Republicans echoed that call. One of the loudest voices is from Central Texas.
Every Texan, and all these guys will attest, every Texan is sick and tired of a federal government abandoning its duty to secure the border, leaving Texans exposed to death, destruction, cost, and finding, frankly, the worst kind of abuses to humanity occurring in our own state because the federal government refuses to do its job.
Congressman Roy cited examples of organized crime taking advantage of migrants, helping to smuggle them into the country, sometimes leading to their deaths. Congressman Roy and other Texas Republican lawmakers say the federal government has lost control of the border. They make the case that the Constitution says Texas has the right to defend its own border.
I think it's clear and I think it's explicit that, in fact, the governor and the leaders of all sovereign states have that right. And I think it's obviously plain for all Americans to see that, and when you look at the data, it obviously supports the fact that there is imminent danger.
Arrington specifically cited deaths from fentanyl as one indication of the imminent danger along the border. He added that he believes the Supreme Court will end up deciding to what degree Texas can take action along the border. June's number of migrant encounters released by Customs and Border Protection is the lowest month total since President Joe Biden's first full month in office 2 years ago. But to add some extra perspective, migration patterns have definitely changed this year. Here's a look at the sector breakdown for the Southwest Border Patrol. Darker colors on the map show areas with the most migrant encounters. From the start of the year up until the end of Title 42 pandemic health rules, El Paso had the highest numbers. Then in May, the pattern shifted with the Rio Grande Valley seeing the most. But in June, the Del Rio sector, which includes Eagle Pass, ended up with the most people moving their way. Amid the immigration debate, there are new efforts to improve bridges along the border. A bipartisan group of lawmakers visited Texas hoping to boost trade between Texas and Mexico. At a news conference in Laredo this past week, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz announced efforts to expedite 4 new bridge projects connecting the U.S. and Mexico. He was joined by Democratic Representative Henry Cuellar. Both pointed out that helping trade helps Texas.
The jobs in South Texas are driven powerfully by the trade and commerce that goes back and forth across this bridge and across the other bridges along the Rio Grande.
Alongside these new bridges, the World Trade Bridge in Laredo would get extra lanes to help with traffic.
We're back with another installment of Campaign Context. It's our series providing you some clarity on some of the things you're hearing from political candidates of all parties as we inch toward election season. Democratic Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez is hoping to unseat U.S. Senator Ted Cruz next year. Speaking to KXAN amid the launch of his Senate campaign, Gutierrez mentioned this statistic several times regarding guns.
66% of Republicans are in favor of common sense gun reform.
I asked Gutierrez's office where he got that number. His press secretary pointed me to this, a UT Austin Texas Politics Project poll from April. The poll asked Texans how they feel about two separate gun reform proposals. The first, raising the legal age for purchasing a firearm from 18 to 21. Now, the poll found 64% of Republicans support that idea, with 42% say they strongly support it, 22% saying they somewhat support. The second question asked whether respondents support what are commonly known as red flag laws. Those are laws that give courts the power to temporarily restrict people considered to be a risk to themselves or to others from owning firearms. And again, a combined 64% of Republicans said they strongly or somewhat support that idea. So it looks like Gutierrez was off by 2 percentage points in his remarks to us, but overall, the large majority of Republicans polled do seem to support raising the age limit to buy guns and support red flag laws.
The mother of one of the victims of the Uvalde school shooting now wants to be mayor of her home city. Kim Mata-Rubio announced Thursday that she's joining the race for Uvalde mayor. Her youngest daughter, Lexi, was killed at Robb Elementary, and since then, she's pushed for action on gun control and police accountability at the state capitol and in Washington. Mata-Rubio vowed to honor her daughter's life with action. The special election for Uvalde mayor is scheduled for November. Current Mayor Dawn McLaughlin is stepping down to run for a Texas House seat. Caregivers and loved ones of people with Alzheimer's face challenges to navigate the difficult disease. How brand new data may be able to help.